The Newfoundlanders would say, home again, jiggity jig. So this is us home again. This was a difficult video for me to edit because I really felt like I was camping with Lewy bodies. And Stanley showed up now and again. And at first I thought, maybe this isn't good. But then I thought, you know what? I'm going to share it anyway because it's reality and it's life. And I hope you can enjoy it. And certainly the scenery is beautiful. Not sure about the people, but maybe we can give you a little laugh here and there. Anyways, here it is. So here's our campsite. And I'm going to give you some better views than just this, but I wanted to make a point, and that is that campsites always have this little fire pit, and you can't move it. And so the nice advantage for us is that once we get our vehicle situated and the tent set up, we can put our Fire King anywhere we want. And so we did. So you're not restricted to exactly where the fire pit was set in the campsite. And we didn't realize how small this lot would be, but we finally figured out, just back the vehicle in, put the tent up in the flattest spot that we could find, which is right at the end of the site. And then we have our toilet area and our little patio set up. The awning comes with the rain fly over the Napier tent. We always have a bin with usually we put our wood in there. We put the tent stuff in there when we're coming here, and then we take that out, obviously set it up, and we keep our wood dry in there. Although this time, the weather's been so great, we just kept the wood out here, and we flipped this tarp over the wood at night, just in case it rains. And so we have a little patio mat. And then inside, what do we have? We have Stanley doing dishes.
What's this?
You're doing dishes.
Who's there?
Nobody. Some people will eventually watch this.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. And that's how Lewy Bodies goes. Anyway, and I made my bed. And we found that, well, years ago we found that sleeping bags were too warm. We brought along 2 downy duvets, and they were too warm. And now we are using just an electric blanket and 1 sheet over top of us. And that seems to be warm enough. And so I think that's going to be our preferred mode for sleeping from now on and camping. Less is more. Look at that. So Stanley's still very self-sufficient, which I appreciate. In fact, for some reason, he takes on a lot of the kitchen duties. Camping with Lewy. That's how I might phrase this camping experience. So that's what I would call this camping trip. And if you don't know what a diagnosis of Lewy Body Dementia is, watch some of my previous videos or look into the Mayo Clinic for an explanation. So my husband has Lewy bodies, small protein clumps in the brain that interfere with normal functions. And then the protein lets go and he's normal, his usual self. So far, I see my Stanley most of the time. But there are days, let me tell you, it was difficult for me to know how to edit this camping video. Sometimes when we go camping, meaning you, your family, or mine, we have expectations, hopes, even a dream as to how it's going to unfold. We look forward with the anticipation of fun, laughter, creating good memories. But sometimes our best hoped for plans go awry, and we are met with new events and challenges. I had some of those hopes and expectations, and most of them built upon camping experiences, things that we've had in the past. But this was our first full 4-day camping experience since the Lewy Body diagnosis. So I tried to give Stanley responsibilities or routines, things that I knew he could do, or at least I thought he could do. And one is he's holding the camera now, and he's videotaping me unfurl the tent and put it up. And then, much to my surprise, he actually got involved. So we put the camera down on the tripod, I think, and we worked away at various things. In some respects, he was more helpful now than he has been in the past in terms of putting up the tent and doing things. Previously, he often just hit in the pegs around the tent and looked after the firewood. And he still did those things. But this time he got a little more involved. And I told him, this is probably the most involved that you have been when we've gone camping. Now, camping for me is, I love the planning. I like packing. I like setting everything up. And, I did a lot of that. It was just the other little things that showed up, which I'll explain later, or I will show in videos later as the camping experience goes on. Sometimes when things don't go the way we thought they might go, sometimes we come away after 4 days or whatever, and we think, oh, this wasn't very good at all. And then you have a few days when you're home, and you start remembering the good parts, like the ice cream, or the conversation, or the trip down to the beach, or the sunset, or the birds, or the little bunnies that showed up. You start remembering small things, and sometimes it's the small things that make the good memory. It's maybe not the whole experience, but it's the little events. And that, I think, it's worth it. That makes the whole trip worth it. And you start remembering things in a more positive view. And that's what happened to me when I got home. So I'm working on setting up the Napier tent, which attaches to the back of our Honda. And basically one person could set it up. And that's pretty much what I did. One thing I forgot to do is I forgot to put those top rods through those little blue sleeves. They're supposed to be inserted through that and then connect up on the corners and the centerpiece. But I only noticed that I had forgot to do that after the tent was all set up. So obviously it's possible to set it up without having to go through those sleeves. The tent is probably about 9 feet high in the center, and it's roughly 10 by 10 footage. So it worked. So after you get those center poles in, then you pull up the legs, and they go into the corners. And they're a trifold pole, and you bungee or pull it into sections. And then there's a little grommet down on the corner of each of the tents, and that pole goes into the grommet. And for the first time ever, actually Stanley managed it, so I'm pleased. Pull it towards you a little more. There you go. Look at that, eh? Now I just have to do this corner. You want to do it? Stanley is 83 and I'm 71, and we both at various times noticed that physical strength is not quite what it used to be. So it takes a little more effort and, I guess, patience with self and endurance and perseverance to get certain things done. But we were talking about that the other day. Even though it's more difficult to get certain things done, it doesn't mean that we can't do it. And if we approach life and said, well, I just can't do it, we would sit around and do nothing. But instead, we're like, okay, let's see if we can still do this. And it might take a little bit longer, but we persevere at it. Or we find ways to achieve our goals nonetheless. So we just keep moving. Our sleeping accommodation is the back of the Honda, and it's probably the most comfortable of sleeping arrangements that we've ever had in all the times we've ever been camping. You're on camera.
Hey?
You're on camera. Breakfast in bed. What's your breakfast?
Well, this is just a starter. It's a banana.
Where is it?
Where is it? Right there.
Oh, yeah. Very good.
I have to set up while I eat this because she make me a food so that I can set up.
We'll have to call the maid.
It seems funny that it's a cold.
No, a little bit, yeah, in your hand.
It seems funny that after all the adventure and all the stuff during the night, it ends up there's only two of us.
There's always only two of us.
There's only two of us going on this thing.
And I think you managed well getting up and using our little chamber pot and coming back. But it's crawling through the bed that
The first time was worse.
It's an issue. I didn't get up once, so I was lucky, but anyway, good morning.
Bananas thaw and mature well at room temperature.
Yeah.
They don't really like it.
Well, I thought it's appropriate that you call it Lewy bananas, your diagnosis. And here you are, banana, first thing in the morning.
Lewy's bodies.
Yeah, Lewy bodies.
Oh.
Oops. It doesn't want to go in your mouth. No, save me.
I wish you would take this.
This is my view from here. From my bed. Isn't it gorgeous? It's going to be sunny all day today. Yeah, you want me to take the banana? Okay. If you're looking for easy, scenic walking trails with lots of wildlife, wetlands, and Lake Huron views, McGregor Provincial Park is one of Ontario's nicest parks for that. The trails are generally flat, well-marked, and senior-friendly. So we did two of them, the Old Shore Road Trail and the Deer Run. And I'm surprised that we managed both.
Oh yeah, let's do the boardwalk.
You don't really have a choice.
Let's go just see you anyway. See you again, have a chat.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have brought an umbrella, I guess.
Hey, where is this? Take a tour of the
Beach.
Yeah, the beach comes in here. No vaping. Looks like this one's breaking up too. See the sky?
Yeah.
Maybe by the morning it'll be better. It's unseasonably cold for June. A long time since I remember June like that.
I can remember it like that when we were kids going to school.
Yeah?
Yeah. You expect it to be warm and it wasn't. You had to dress up warm in the morning. The water's up, eh?
There was no tide. You need a dago.
Kitchen duties, cleaning up, looking after stuff like that for me. So that was his initiative, clean up our lunch dishes, and there you go. So we've had some interesting conversations. At one point, he wanted to know where my twin went. He took a picture of me, and then he said, let's see the picture. So I showed it to him, and he said, that person looks just like you. That's your twin. And I said, that is me. So I'm finding he has very lucid moments where he knows exactly what's going on, like right now, and other times where he talks about stuff that doesn't seem to make any sense. And he woke up that way this morning with a lot of I call them weird or strange questions. So after a while I had to say to him, let's have a I like today, what we like. I like this, I like that, instead of all the questions, because that wears me out. It does, wears me out. Anyways, cheers. We're having fun camping. And the weather has been absolutely amazing. It was supposed to rain, showers here and there, but it hasn't happened yet. So hopefully it doesn't. I've got camping hair for sure. Cheers. So you see the little red sign on the tree? It means we're going in the right direction. And it's open in the winter, so they do skiing across on this trail. And here's your map showing where you are. This is Stanley's single ice cream. I call it a single. And mine is double, but I decided not for the extra one on top. 3 scoops is enough. It's good. It's good.
Can't open me mouth.
Cooking dinner. Me cooking dinner. Nice coals in there. They're starting to smell good too. Well, what do you think?
Tell you when they're done.
Right. They're sizzling. Give me the fork. What the fork? A little bit pinky on there. Oh, don't go over there. we've had some interesting conversations. At one point, he wanted to know where my twin went. He took a picture of me, and then he said, let's see the picture. So I showed it to him, and he said, that person looks just like you. That's your twin. And I said, that is me. So I'm finding he has very lucid moments where he knows exactly what's going on, like right now, and other times where he talks about stuff that doesn't seem to make any sense. And he woke up that way this morning with a lot of I call them weird or strange questions. So after a while I had to say to him, let's have a I like today, what we like. I like this, I like that, instead of all the questions, because that wears me out. It does, wears me out. Anyways, cheers. We're having fun camping. And the weather has been absolutely amazing. It's supposed to rain, showers here and there, but it hasn't happened yet. So hopefully it doesn't. I've got camping hair for sure. Cheers.
The most spectacular sunset because of those clouds, but